Some corners of this world never made it onto a single map. Not because they were misplaced, but because no one ever stopped to see them for what they truly are. Forget the crowded landmarks and the postcard icons. These are stranger fragments of the planet, where nature tucks away its most breathtaking work as though holding it back for the few restless enough to go looking. Deep in the fog, wrapped ranges of China rise the sandstone columns of Wulingyuan climbing skyward like a thicket of stone spears. It is a floating realm where slender bridges reach from summit to summit, drawn tight like threads strung between heaven and the drop below. And if nature can raise cathedrals into the clouds, then far across the globe, it can also set the ground ablaze. In Utah's Moab country, the stone burns a deep ember-red sculpting terrain that feels less like our world and more like some planet long forgotten. Just as you begin to believe you have reached the limit of what is beautiful, Ireland answers back in a quiet voice. Along the cliffs of Moher, sheer walls of rock climb 200 meters over the wild Atlantic, looking as though the land was once ripped open by an unseen force and left to never fully heal. Places like these do more than simply stun you. They plant a question in your mind. How many more marvels are still out there hidden and patient waiting for a first pair of eyes? The Fenglinbui scenic area lays bare the untamed beauty of the southwestern mountains with limestone ridges, crimson maple woods in autumn, and clear streams winding through the land. As light filters through the maples, their leaves set the entire hillside ablaze in reds, yellows, and warm orange, like a canvas come alive. Waterfalls tumble more than 100 feet across moss-softened stone, ringing out in gentle notes that drift like distant wind chimes from within the forest. Hui-stilt homes of timber line the slopes crowned with dark tiled roofs and braced on sturdy stone columns that feel at once solid and old beyond counting. A few visitors claim the place once spoke to them, calling out their names or hinting at the path their lives should take. No one has ever accounted for those voices. Yet the stone is honored to this day and held as something holy. Far to the north lies Lake Baikal, the deepest body of fresh water anywhere on the planet, plunging close to 5,387 feet and carrying an age of more than 25 million years. Within it sits roughly 20% of all the liquid fresh water on Earth, and its clarity runs so deep that you can peer down beyond 131 feet. Come winter, its surface hardens into glassy, transparent ice that splits with a boom loud as cannon fire. Nowhere else on the planet do freshwater seals make their home a living sign of just how ancient and singular this ecosystem really is. Microscopic creatures within the water quietly scrub it clean on their own, keeping it pure with no help from human hands. To the people who live along its shores, the lake is holy ground, woven into ancestral legends and the rituals passed down through generations. Elsewhere, a quiet village rests among pine forests and plunging valleys, where clear brooks and blossoming flowers paint a living picture with every returning spring. Each dawn light breaks through the haze and glances off the curved tiles of the old rooftops, setting the entire village aglow. The old homes of wood and stone wear hand-carved doors, courtyards paved in flagstone, and long verandas that feel calm and deeply rooted in the land. An old tale tells that as the new year begins on that very first night, a certain stone at the stream's edge begins to glow softly whenever someone sincere comes close. Should they rest a palm against it and speak aloud a poem of their own making, they are said to receive clear thinking and a year blessed with success in their studies. The shimmer defies every explanation. Yet the villagers are certain the stone carries a spiritual force linking those who touch it to the quiet wisdom of the natural world. The cliffs of Moher took shape more than 300 million years ago. An old seabed slowly raised and then ground down by fierce sea winds and endless rain. Rising beyond 700 feet and running for over 5 miles, they form a colossal wall of rock along the untamed edge of the Atlantic. As sunbeams cut through the sea haze, the rock bands turn from silvery gray to a burnished copper, a spectacle that seems to shift moment by moment. The headlands shelter more than 20 uncommon seabird species and many thousands of birds in all, among them puffins and gulls. Today, the whole site sits under tight protection, with visitor numbers carefully managed to safeguard both the marine life and the breathtaking scenery. Moab is a peculiar realm of sandstone, where rock in shades of red and orange has been sculpted by nature across millions of years into terrain that looks lifted from another world. Certain walls climb hundreds of feet, their faces cracked and curled by erosion, as though the ground once shuddered with violence in this very spot. At sunrise, great boulders are said to give off splitting sounds, almost as if they breathe, while air squeezing through the narrow clefts hums like flutes or hushed whispers. Travelers have described losing all sense of direction deep within the canyons, while compass needles reportedly drift a little when held near particular rock walls. After dark, odd flickers of light have been spotted hovering just above the ground, leaving many convinced some hidden energy lingers here. Between its dreamlike forms and events no one can explain, Moab makes the boundary between the present and some ancient world feel as if it has nearly dissolved. The Waterfall glowworm caves first took shape more than 30 million years ago. They're limestone built from the fossils of sea creatures and later hollowed by rainwater into vast underground halls. It draws its fame from the countless glowworms strung across the ceiling, turning the cavern into a starlit sky buried beneath the earth. That soft blue glow comes from an unusual chemical reaction inside the worms themselves, wrapping the chamber in an eerie, dreamlike mood. Through pitch blackness, a hidden river carries travelers softly along, as if they were gliding through a galaxy shrunk down to fit inside a cave. Local lore holds that the glow is the presence of ancestral spirits, lighting the path through the darkness, and lending the cave a sacred weight. The cave now falls under strict guardianship, capping how many enter each day and forbidding any man, made light all to shield its fragile ecosystem. Angkor Thom rises as a colossal former capital razed more than 800 years ago, celebrated for its ramparts and the hundreds of enormous stone faces that gaze outward toward all four directions. The entire city was laid out as a miniature of the cosmos, guided by Hindu thought and revealing a remarkable grasp of both philosophy and astronomy. Millions of massive blocks were fitted together with flawless accuracy and not a trace of mortar. And to this day, the method behind it remains only partly understood. Parts of the city are thought to hide tunnels or lower chambers beneath the surface that no one has ever found, deepening the sense of mystery. Numerous gadgets are reported to stop working near the heart of the complex, prompting researchers to suspect some odd magnetic force at play. Just after dawn, when light strikes the moss-cloaked towers and mist still drifts among them, the whole place feels like a holy world the ages left behind. In Madagascar stands Tsingy de Bemaraha, a spectacular protected wonder famed for its needle-sharp limestone blades carved across countless ages by wind and water alone. Tucked into a far-flung corner of the island, it can only be reached by pushing through thick jungle and broken ground, which lends every expedition an air of mystery and difficulty. In scientific terms, it harbors hundreds of one-of-a-kind plants and animals, a great many of which exist nowhere else on the globe. To biologists, the place is a living laboratory ideal for watching evolution and adaptation unfold under punishing conditions. For the communities nearby, the region is sacred ground bound tightly to age-old faith and a profound reverence for the natural world. The otherworldly splendor of those knife-edged peaks can make you feel as though you have set foot on a different planet entirely. Table Mountain ranks among the most ancient peaks anywhere, dated at more than 260 million years and crowned with an oddly level summit that resembles a giant tabletop. Reaching roughly 3,563 feet. It often gathers a blanket of cloud across its crown like draped white linen, which locals have named the tablecloth of the gods. Stranger still, after countless ages of wearing away, that flat crown has barely altered at all. More than 14 plant species grow here, and nowhere else, turning the mountain into an open-air museum of life prized around the world. Pilots have often reported their radio signals behaving oddly while passing close to the peak, feeding theories about strange magnetic fields below. Perched about 26 feet above the valley floor, Cliff Village is ringed by sheer drops and clouds that drift past all year long, forming a landscape both dramatic and steeped in legend. Looking out from the settlement, ridge after ridge rolls to the horizon, while clouds hang level with your gaze, a sight most stunning at sunrise as it filters through the morning haze. The dwellings press hard against the rock face, built from stone-packed earth and bamboo compact, yet remarkably tough for such precipitous ground. Among its most striking details are the ancient rope ladders that people once climbed to scale the cliffs, dangling hundreds of feet above open air. Steel staircases have long since taken over from the ropes. Yet one stretch of the original ladder still hangs there, kept as a sacred link to the past. Many who pass by pause to press a palm to the coarse cord, quietly asking for safekeeping as they make their way across these towering cliffs. Perito Moreno counts among the most awe-inspiring glaciers on the planet. Running roughly 19 miles in length and towering close to 230 feet over the lake below. Beneath the sun, the ice burns a vivid turquoise, offering a spectacle that feels at once majestic and unreal. While so many glaciers retreat, this one has held its ground for decades, refusing to shrink. Now and then, huge slabs of ice calve away and plunge into the water with a roar like thunder, throwing out powerful waves. More than a marvel of nature, Perito Moreno has grown into a point of national pride across Argentina. Haleakala, a national park in Hawaii, is built around a volcano that climbs beyond 10,000 feet, where the sunrise ignites a shimmering ocean of cloud. Its terrain opens into a broad crater of rust-red earth, dark stone, and volcanic ash so alien underfoot that it feels like a stroll across another world. In native tradition, the summit is holy, regarded as a dwelling of the gods, and the very spot where, in old legend, the sun itself was once halted. Conditions on Haleakala can swing within a single day, shifting from brilliant sunshine to chilly fog over just a handful of paces. Facing such a vista, countless visitors are washed over by a profound calm and a sudden sense of their own smallness against the vast cosmos, as if brushing a realm beyond the real. Revenge belongs to that rare breed of seaside towns that has held on to its untamed spirit and old-world charm even now. Set on a spur of limestone jutting into the sea, it offers plunging cliffs and water that stays clear even a few hundred feet out from shore. Its tight stone lanes and weathered houses, topped with red tiles, compose a scene that could have stepped straight out of a fairy tale. A holy legend clings to this coast, telling of a Virgin Mary statue that drifted in from the sea and simply refused to be moved, which stirred the townsfolk to raise a shrine on the spot. Odd occurrences, from peculiar lights to unexplained sounds, are still described from time to time now, and then luring in the curious and the adventurous. Firm heritage laws and careful sustainable tourism have let Røving hold fast to its ancient character, giving every traveler a taste of something timeless. Fingal's Cave counts among Scotland's most extraordinary natural marvels, framed by flawlessly six-sided basalt columns that were forged in ancient volcanic eruptions. As the sea surges inside, the waves slam into the rock and send back echoes that ring out like a great cathedral organ. During particular seasons, sunlight reaches into the hollow and throws down an upright shaft of gold that resembles a legendary pillar of flame. A few who enter swear that time itself seems to drag, while others describe faint whispers rising from no source anyone can name. Pictures snapped within the cavern now and then reveal odd warps of light, as though the very space were folding in on itself. Fingal's Cave is far more than a hollow of stone carved by the sea. Here the laws of nature seem to brush up against the profound riddles of old myth. Hatcher Pass cuts through the Talkeetna Mountains of Alaska, sitting near 3,040 feet above the sea, where the climate stays cold and unforgiving in every season. Getting there is no easy feat above all. In winter, when deep snow and ice seal off the route, so it tends to draw only the most determined wilderness seekers. It remains among the few spots that have kept their first beauty intact, its alpine ecosystems, spared from cities and from the reach of tourism. Back in the early 20th century, it thrived as a gold mining hub, and plenty of the ruins left behind still carry real value for researchers. The pass also draws scientists who come to study geology and a shifting climate in a setting almost free of human meddling. Its remoteness, punishing ground, and absence of built-up infrastructure turn it into a hidden natural gem of Alaska. Mendenhall Glacier stretches roughly 13 miles. Born over thousands of years, as layer upon layer of snow was pressed and squeezed into solid ice. Its face carries a natural blue tint, catching the sun like cut crystal, and painting a picture that is at once icy and radiant. One of its rarest sights are the caverns hollowed within the glacier, where daylight seeps through the dense ice to fill the hollows with a glowing blue. Because the ice is always melting, these chambers never hold the same shape twice, so no two visits are ever alike. Standing before that towering wall of ice, many are struck by a complete hush and a fresh awareness of how delicate our natural world really is. Beizhang Waterfall ranks among the highest and most breathtaking falls anywhere, its water plunging from a height of hundreds of feet to raise a pale, misty veil that echoes through the air. Thick forests and tiered shelves of rock wrap around the cascade, sculpted as though nature had shaped them by hand. Rushing water mingles with the wind, and the calls of woodland birds into a kind of wild symphony that seems to rinse the spirit clean. Oddly, the current barely changes between the parched months and the wet ones, baffling researchers who have never pinned down where it truly springs from. Old myths hold that this was the very ground where deities came down to pass on wisdom and virtue to humankind. Beyond its natural splendor, Beizhang Waterfall stands as a spiritual emblem, a place where people come to find peace and feel more closely tied to the wider universe. Santorini curves like a crescent across the sea, born of a colossal volcanic blast, its cliffs climbing hundreds of feet to ring a drowned caldera. Perched along the cliff tops, whitewashed houses, capped with blue domes, strike a flawless harmony between human craft and the land itself. Long ago, the island sat at the heart of the old Minoan world, and it remains bound to Greek myth. Echoed still in its ceremonies and time-honored crafts. One thing sets this place apart, the orange and pink glow of its sunsets, which bathes the whole island and turns every view romantic and dreamlike. Even now, plumes of hot gas occasionally seep up from the volcano beneath the waves, proof that the earth here is still restless. That equilibrium of raw natural beauty and rich human history lends Santorini a stirring force, one that can overwhelm the heart and stir deep reflection. Owl Creek Pass demands real effort to reach set deep in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado amid rough trails and demanding ground. Sitting at an altitude of over 1,000 feet, it calls to those who long to roam the wild and chase a little quiet. The scenery around Owl Creek Pass gathers soaring peaks, untouched woodland, and plunging valleys into a pristine expanse that few other spots can rival. In scientific terms, the region teems with wildlife and makes an excellent field site for work in geology and zoology alike. What makes Owl Creek Pass so uncommon is not just how hard it is to get to, but the singular natural beauty waiting once you arrive. Since tourism has never taken hold here in any real way, the native ecosystem stays intact and the deep calm endures. Drift Creek Falls sends a ribbon of white water tumbling off a high cliff into thick old-growth woodland, a scene carved out over thousands of years by patient erosion. The surroundings stay raw and unspoiled, weaving powerful currents, aged pines, and rich green foliage together all year round. Its centerpiece is a suspension bridge running about 240 feet across the gorge, giving visitors a full view of the falls from high overhead. Geologists have found that the rock beneath the cascade may be leftovers of an old sediment bed fractured by an earthquake in the distant past. An indigenous tale holds that this ground once served for rain ceremonies, and that the voices of ancestors are thought to linger still echoing among the trees. The falls pull in lovers of the outdoors, even as conservation groups labor to shield the ecosystem by keeping the footprint of tourism small. Jackson Hole spreads out as a broad valley hemmed in by mountain ranges rising past 10,000 feet, a showcase of the wild, rugged American West. Through summer, wildflowers blanket the ground in vivid color, and once winter comes, snow transforms the valley into a realm of white. Its bowl-like form and highland climate summon frequent fog and frost, lending the terrain a magical cast. In earlier days, this valley sheltered hunters, homesteaders, and cowboys, whose legacy still breathes through its aged buildings and the culture of the people here. Out here, moose eagles and even bears can be spotted roaming free with never a zoo in sight. Each passing moment spent in Jackson Hole settles the mind and calls people back to their deep bond with nature and with living itself. Milford Sound, formed as a fjord back in the Ice Age, celebrated for its soaring walls that lift as high as 4,000 feet above deep blue water. It receives some of the heaviest rainfall found anywhere, and in a downpour, hundreds of fleeting waterfalls burst to life, reshaping the view in minutes. Once the clouds part, the still water throws back the encircling peaks like a bright, flawless mirror. To the indigenous inhabitants, this ground was long held, wholly tied fast to legends of old. The first European voyagers took it for the mouth of a river, a hint of just how far its beauty runs past what the mind expects. Its real magic lies in the contrast, a landscape of overwhelming power that somehow leaves you utterly at peace. Stone spears rising through Chinese mist, red desert burning under Utah light Irish cliffs torn open above a restless sea. None of these places were made for us, and none of them care whether we ever arrive at all. That indifference is exactly what makes them beautiful. They exist because the earth had time and no reason to stop. Somewhere out there, beyond every route already charted, more of them are waiting patient and unnamed and utterly indifferent to our absence. If you know of a place the maps forgot, tell us below. We will go looking.